We're now getting the latest images of visuals of the Sikh community in Kabul taking a refuge in a Gurudwara as they await evacuation. Earlier today, we also got you the visuals of Taliban meeting some members of the community in Kabul. In fact, the earlier version was Taliban leaders meeting Sikh community leaders, assuring them that Sikhs in Kabul won't be targeted. As far as these latest images are concerned, these are images coming in from a Gurudwara in Kabul where Sikhs are now taking refuge. It remains to be seen how exactly would the evacuation plan be put into place. A short while ago, also information coming in that the Indian government has drawn up an exhaustive evacuation plan. In fact, one C-17 has already landed in Kabul, and we are given to understand that over the next few days, there would be more such evacuation plan that would be carried out. These are images of the community that has been stranded in Kabul. There are also Hindu minorities who are currently in Kabul. Remains to be seen how exactly would the Indian government connect with all the minorities in Kabul and perhaps also convince them to come back to India. Let me try and go across to our senior executive editor, Abhishek Kapoor, who's getting us the latest. I'm told that Abhijit Iyer is joining us on the broadcast. Abhijit, put this into perspective. Two images on the screens right now. On the one hand, you have Taliban leaders trying to assuage the fears of the Sikhs in Kabul. On the other side, you also have some minorities taking refuge in the Gurudwara.
Right. So, look, let's go even by the last Taliban, which was, the last incarnation of the Taliban in power, which was probably a lot worse. There, the worst thing that was done to the community was that they were forced to wear armbands and things like that. If you remember, like Jews in Nazi Germany, they were forced to wear saffron and yellow armbands and so on and so forth. Now, that clearly isn't happening this time. We need to separate the brutality of the Taliban from how they are running, of the past Taliban from this particular Taliban, and specifically after they have entered Kabul. There seems to be some kind of a concerted effort for them to portray this image that this is not going to be like last time. All right. Now, how long that image, is it actually an image or is it a facade? We don't know. But right now, the very fact that they have proactively reached out to the Sikh community gives me some kind of reassurance, number one. Number two, the fact that most of the Sikh community in Kabul are now in that Gurudwara is a good thing, because what it does is it gives you one evacuation point. Remember, a C-17 can take in a helicopter into its belly and they can be helicopter evacuated from there. Plus, of course, there is the fact that you can also evacuate them through road. I don't think a helicopter will be taken. There will be some kind of a road evacuation. I don't know how that's going to work, because all the images we're seeing of Kabul airport is that it's surrounded right now literally by lakhs of people. What you've seen, the few thousands that you've seen in your images aren't actually doing it justice, right? What we're seeing is concentric circles. We think about 3 or 4 lakhs. I mean, we can't, we do guesstimates based on how much we count in a square and then multiply it by the number of squares. So let's see how this proceeds. But as of now, I am not seeing anything that is panicking me at the moment. I think the Taliban so far are more or less ticking the right boxes. But remember, the Taliban is a highly unpredictable commodity, especially between the 3 factions and the multiplicity of leaders around. There are reports of conflicting orders. I think the interview you yourself did with Nigel some time back was telling you how he was let through one checkpoint but not let through another checkpoint, and finally the permission to leave came in. Now, I can tell you they're not actually preventing Afghans from leaving. They are exercising some form of control. We don't know what the issue is. I really don't know, because my friends aren't trying to leave. They are stay put in Kabul. They're not moving out. They're not even seeing the images that we're seeing from Kabul airport. They're certainly not privy to the satellite imagery that we're seeing of Kabul airport. I'm quite hopeful. Let's just keep it that way for the time being.
Well, thank you very much, Abhijit, for putting this into perspective. We'll keep coming back to you as over the next few hours, we'll also get more details of what's really happening on the ground.